This is Brett of the Brook Bush Institute here at the Independent Training Spot going over the core push-pull exercise. This is one of my favorite exercises. It's a core anti-rotation strength exercise for the most part. I'm going to show you guys a stability progression. I think once you guys take a look at the exercise, you'll also see where it might fit into your resistance training programs. So I'm going to have my friend Jordan Tisdale come out. He's going to help me demonstrate this exercise. Now, we got this exercise set up with our track fitness handles, which I love. You guys should look those up. Lots of crazy motion they'll do, very comfortable. And these Stroop straps, which of course are great too, great resistive band stuff. You could use a couple of cables, normal handles, resistive bands. You could use resistive band tape if you wanted to. You don't necessarily have to have all of this equipment to get this done. Now, the exercise itself. Notice Jordan is standing upright with good posture. We have one arm getting ready to pull, one arm getting ready to push, hence the whole push-pull thing, which as you can imagine is trying to twist him this way. All right, so this is one of those anti-rotation exercises for the core. And then we're going to look at leg position here. Notice that the arm that starts forward, the one that's going to start with a pull, is opposite the leg that's forward. And the arm that's going to push is opposite the leg that's back. The reason we do this goes back to our core subsystems. So I want to put his core subsystems on pre-stretch, load them a little bit so that they work really effectively. On this side, we have his posterior oblique subsystem with his lat, thoracolumbar fascia, and glute being stretched. And on this side, we have that adductor abdominal fascia external oblique being stretched by the pull this way. So now I'm going to have to make sure he's engaged his glutes, he's drawn in, and he's going to go ahead and pull with this arm and push with this one, nice and slow. Not using any of this twisting motion here. I just want him to concentrate on good form, push and pull. Good. Now, as you guys can imagine, and I'm sure Jordan can feel this, this is pretty light for Jordan. I could keep increasing the weight. And this becomes a really good strength exercise for the core. And if I'm stinking it into my integrated warm-up, you guys could probably see how, for somebody like Jordan, if this was on his upper body day or on a full body resistance training day, he'd probably be nice and warm by the time he got there. So we've killed two birds with one stone. We've done a little bit of a specific warm-up and a core warm-up. Now, for some individuals who have really, really great core stability, this might be an upper body exercise. Their arms might actually fatigue out before their core. That's fine too. So now you're doing your chest and your back and getting a little core work as part of your resistance training routine. If you guys wanted to take this up a notch, all right, although sometimes we give a little to get a little. If he puts both of his legs together, this now becomes harder to stabilize. What we've kind of toned down a little bit, though, is all that subsystem recruitment that we had before. I really like the staggered stance for this exercise. I'm always thinking about integrating the anterior and posterior oblique subsystems for core stabilization. But occasionally, I do find reason to get somebody into this stable stance position and really work on their stability, all right, so you can keep doing the same thing. Let's say Jordan is a really, really high-end athlete, which he is. Right? And he's coming back from his lumbar pathology that he's had. He's been working with me a little bit. And now we're really trying to get him high levels of proprioception. Right? I could take this one step farther. Go ahead and stand on one leg. Ooh, good. And generally speaking, I'm going to do the leg that's opposite the arm pulling. So once again, I get that posterior oblique subsystem recruited and get a lot of glute activation to stabilize his hip. How does that feel?
It is tough.
Yeah, one leg is super tough on the stability side, super tough on the leg you're standing on. If you guys go back to the 2 feet or the staggered stance, I think you'll find that you can ramp the weight up really high. All right? If you ramp the weight up, if you're going to do that, make sure you switch hands. Right? So we'll go this way. So I'm just switching Jordan, just what I was talking to you guys about. If he's standing on this leg, I want him pulling with this arm to get that posterior oblique subsystem involved and get this glute working to stabilize his hip. All right, so we can go 2 legs, staggered stance. I think if you guys try the staggered stance and try to work on anti-rotation, you'll still be able to get the weights up pretty high, which is a really tough core workout. Really great specific warm-up for those upper body days for my stronger individuals out there, or those of you guys with a lot of core strength, you might be able to knock out your push and pull exercise in your resistance training program all at once. Thank you, Jordan. I look forward to talking to you guys again soon.